Okay, you don't know how happy I am to hear this. Okay, I've this is my '94 Jeep Cherokee, not a Grand Cherokee, just an old piece of shit Jeep Cherokee. Bought it from a guy for not very much money. It started blowing the 20 amp fuses underneath the hood. I've had this all apart. I replaced the ignition switch, did all kinds of crap trying to figure out where it was shorting out. Traced wires, it was driving me nuts. I couldn't figure it out. It kept blowing it. I took the computer out, cleaned it. None of the capacitors were blown. I've been tracing wires, trying to figure out what had power, what didn't, with the key on and off. I've been in there too. Just put it all back together. Anyway, I had a battery charger on it, and I made a jumper out of two phone wires, two small telephone wires for the 20 amp fuse. And I just wanted to see if it would start with a jumper wire. It started while the battery charger was hooked up. Before that, it was blowing the fuse even when the battery was charged. So anyway, with the battery charger hooked up, it started with the jumper, so I wanted to see if it would start with the fuse. So I put the 20 amp fuse in there. It started. I disconnected the battery charger, and I've started it 5-6 times. The fuse won't blow. I can't find any shorted wires anywhere. Can't find anything wrong, but it was blowing that fuse. So I think the battery possibly had an internal short. So I'm gonna change the battery out. But anyway, I hope this might help somebody. Internally shorted battery may cause that fuse to go out and keep blowing every time you try to start it. It was blowing as soon as I turned the key on. It was giving me a code that said disconnected battery or disconnected computer, code 12. And I don't know, before all this started, I thought it was the crank sensor. It was throwing all kinds of codes. So I changed the crank sensor. It's got a brand new crank sensor. And then it just started throwing the code 12, but it was blowing this fuse every time I turned the key on. And the only time it did not blow the fuse is when I had the battery charger hooked up and I used the jumper or a fuse out of some wire. It cranked, and then started using the fuse, and the fuse isn't blowing. So I'm thinking it's the battery. It's pointing toward the battery, like the internal short in the battery. I hope that helped somebody. This thing drove me crazy for 3 days.